Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's me, Orochizabliki. It's been a while. I'm I'm resurrecting after like 2 years or so. You might notice that I'm doing English now. I'm sorry for the people, and also thanks to the people that supported me. Like and so on and so on. But yeah, I think I'll be starting this way because I want to diversify my audience, I guess. Um, yeah, let's see how it works. This channel is all about learning, so this time it's English. We're gonna learn together. Okay, so I got a lot of stuff to show. Basically, I've been working with the Godot. Um, I've been turning this into this. If you know, I've been doing a silly video game in RPG Maker for a while, and now I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually make the thing in Godot or if it's just like a temporal distraction. Um, but yeah, I've been working on it and I've been learning stuff, which is good. So, um, before I before I do that, before I do this, I'll be linking this in the description below. This is the repository for the game for now. So the thing is, if you can see, there's an MIT license here. I'll be leaving this public and under MIT because I like learning and I like the way I learn stuff is basically from other people, and I feel like that's I don't know, like knowledge is free. I don't know. I think I explained this many times already. um, anyway, it's open, it's free, and whatever. You can do whatever you want with it, and whatever. Even graphics and audio, I'll eventually get like some sort of list with accreditations because there's some audio that's not 100% mine, uh, and I only feel for them. But if it's graphics, it's mine. Anything graphics and fonts are mine, so you can do whatever. I'll feel happy if you say like, "Hey, this is from this guy." Um, accuse him of anything. Um, and yeah, and actually feel free to link your stuff. Like I like to see what people do, whatever. Anyway, so another thing about the future of this repository. This is gonna be public forever, but if you know something about RPGs, is that a good portion of what making an RPG is usually making content, like just developing the story, making cutscenes, adding items and enemies, and so on and so on and so on. Like there's a lot of stuff that's just like making stuff, and what you do for systems, yes, is a lot, but it's also like maybe 20% of the whole thing. So in the moment that I stop doing like the actual system or core of the game, I'm probably gonna leave this there, and just do like a fork, and that fork is probably gonna be private. And the reason is just because I like to keep things private. For I don't know, like I don't like to spoil people. I don't know, like if there's a story and so on, like a piece of me wants people to experience the things through the game and so on, like story and all that. The rest I don't care. uh, in the systems are the means to the end, kind of. Though I also like designing, like game design and so on. Anyway, with that out of the way, I think that also this is open, but I don't need help. Thank you. I mean, I do need help, but I don't want to have people under me or whatever. Um, I don't like management. That's about it. It's not about the emails, you know. Is emails is managing an email is the easiest part of the work, you know. It's the yeah, Mister Guy. I'm not gonna mention it. If you know, you know. Anyway, yeah. So what has been done? I'm gonna show Godot behind because yes. So there's obviously a lot of stuff is not done because it's been just like around 2 weeks. So obviously the title screen is something I don't care. I'll do later. I'm gonna do a new and save right away actually. So we're gonna show a couple of stuff. So there's events and the message box shows around the character and so on, left and right and etc. There, I figure out some way to make some stuff not collidable, which is something I wanted. That's about it. And then it regains the collider because yes. Also, just see that this woman is like this. I'm gonna say I'm gonna save after this. So there's a couple stuff done. There's inventory and more inventory with different categories. And there is this stats and equipment. I can change equipment. There's a I'm missing something here. Okay, I missed the sound cue here. But anyway, I'll do it later. There's changes in attributes and so on. There's different characters also. That's equipment. And then actions. There's actions. Okay. This is basically just populated, and that's about it. There's not a lot done for the actions or the skills. And then there's this stuff. These three are pretty simple. For saving, there's saving. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. You can go to the title. And you can load the game. Wow. And as you can see, the lady is still blue. Or more like the character is still blue. Yeah. That most stuff is mimicking. Actually, all the stuff trying to mimic the game. There's a couple of stuff that I had to switch around. The layout is not exactly the same. Since I got a lot more space, I ended up doing a little bit of a very minor overhaul to this screen, for example. Oh, this is getting input from the mouse. That's terrible. But yeah, very minor. Very minor stuff. Numbers are like some text isn't rendered the same way, so I've seen that there's sometimes less space, which is why I had to send the next to the second line and so on, like things like that. Yeah, anyway, that's about it for that. I'm sorry that it's not a lot of show. So there's a couple. Oh, actually, I need to open it again. So there's a couple things that like I've been learning about it. The first thing I want to talk is not really learning, but it's a decision I need to make because, as you can see, this is not really this is not isometric or orthographic. You can see the sides and so on, and I actually like that. I've been experimenting between the two projections because this one I like the extra detail from the stuff you can see from the sides and so on. Like there's always something you can gain from that, and also because it's 3D, so it feels a little bit of like a waste. But on the other hand, there's some issues with the sprites specifically. If I come here, you can see that the character gets a little bit squished, and I haven't fixed that. And also when it gets far away, it kind of gets not taller, but it gets like, I don't know, it gets squished very weird. It looks kind of weird, yeah. But then if I change it to orthogonal, then that looks better. But the issue is that I really like the extra detail from the sides of the geometry. Like being able to see the sides without having to turn around and so on. I don't know. I feel conflicted about it. That's the issue there. That's more like something I need to make up my mind. If I can fix the other thing, or if it's just like something that's gonna bug me forever. Anyway, projection is hard. Next, sprites. Speaking of sprites and projection, also kind of related. So I'm doing what is called a billboard. So billboards are sprites that always look into the camera, straight into you, into your soul. Thing is, Godot has two kinds of billboards. The first one is the wide billboard, and the second one is the full billboard. The full billboard works like this. It looks straight into you. Straight towards you. I'm sorry. It rotates towards you. So 100%. So it doesn't matter where you are or how you are. Yeah, it's gonna look towards you. The wide billboard, on the other hand, only does that in one direction. In the vertical one, it stays the same. So it has this little issue that it does this. Now, that's not what is causing the issue with the perspective, because I actually fixed that. Through code, you can actually fix that issue by just scaling it up in the wide. Whoop, and that kind of works. Problem is, and the reason why I did this way is because with the full billboard, yeah, so it's rotating and all that. It looks nice, but the problem is that if I have another thing around, say we got a box, and it's like here, it gets inside the box, so that's not acceptable. Yeah, so yeah, so instead I'm doing for now that thing with scaling. In case you want to check the repository and so on. Oh, that's not the one. You can look out for this update angle deform in the sources. That's basically the thing that does it. It just calculates like a right scale based on the rotation of the camera, and applies some dumb trigonometry there. And that's about it. Yeah, gonna save this for the end time. What else? Oh, the other thing around sprites. So I got a couple things to teach you about. Yes, you're gonna come here and learn. So there's the dichotomy of redoing things for the sake of convenience. Because on one hand, I'm gonna show this first. So for events, this is how I'm gonna do the cutscenes, right? So in the past, I've tried to do like tools and so on. Like, let me show you something first. So in RPG Maker, you have this called events, and you can add text, and can have weights, and can have, I don't know, a conditional branch. And if the switch is on, then you can do farts. And if it's off, then it's gonna do goalie. And so on. And this is nice, right? This is the way my mind works, probably. And it's like a proto scripting sort of thing, right? It's very good to have it, but the thing is that making a full tool for all that, it's kind of a lot of stuff to maintain. So with Godot, I'm basically I'll be abusing the awaits. I've seen that this is gonna get me the same. Like it gives all the things I need. Since I'm using a scripting language already, it gives me all the conditionals and all the tools that the scripting language gives me without me having to actually code a conditional or jump between pieces of code and so on. So it's a huge time save, I think. So the moral story here is, if there's something that gives you a lot of benefits, like it's obviously something you're gonna want to use, right? You can save a lot of time instead of like, I mean, if it's for learning, everything is good. But if it's for saving your time and you actually want to get things done, then I guess you should take the easy approach. On the other hand, you have uh, things that save you time. So for animations, you have animated sprite 3D, for example. And this thing, you give it new sprites, for example, and do this here and select a sprite and then do whoop, 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 add 4, and then voila, you got an animation, right? Where's the animated sprite? It's pretty small. Here it is. It's Chibi Hikari. And yeah, so that this is all good, right? You can actually do like 8 per second and so on. And this works for 99% of the time, right? And I actually use it in some other places. But the thing is, there's a lot of setup for that. Like, I don't want to do this every single time. I'm very lazy. So what I did was make my own animated thing. Based on the sprite 3D, I use my own stuff, which I can actually reuse. And so I got this. And instead of using, like, I don't have to set up anything here, I just throw textures here and give it the amount of frames or horizontally, and then I have support for cardinal directions and diagonals, like north, south, east, west, and then the diagonals for each of those, and also blinking animation and so on. It's very specific, but yeah, in the end run, I just have to throw textures here. It's gonna do all the things behind the back. I don't have to set up every single direction for the animation and so on. So more of the story, sometimes you have to reinvent the wheel, but it's because you want a different kind of wheel, right? And also I got support for, like, for example, base, jump animation, and run animation. And there will be more because there's a lot of sprite sheets that I got. That's the other thing. Like, I don't want to do the animated thing with every single one of these. Instead, I just have to do like a couple clicks here and there, and I got something running. But yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Uh, Here's another thing I didn't want to talk about. Serialization. So I'm gonna try to make this very, very, very quick. So in Ruby, what you do for serialization is you got a class and you do Marshall dump, for example, a Marshall dump. This thing, Marshall, is great because you just tell him, hey, where's the actual save data? Oh, I think it already. Well, anyway, you create a file instance, which is basically open up a file, and then this guy does all the dumping, which is basically grabs any sort of piece of data, any class, anything, and I really mean anything. There's very little instances that doesn't work. Um, it grabs anything and it dumps it into a file. Like, it serializes it. It's one line to serialize a whole class, and you don't need to do like almost anything. And it's good. Unity has a similar thing, but it only serializes like public members and members that have this serialized field tag on it. I don't know. If you are a Unity user, you probably recognize it. It's pretty cool too. Godot doesn't have that, but it's not all lost. Like it's not that it's not that it's bad, but it's just that it has a little bit more work. So what I found myself with is that Godot really likes their dictionaries and arrays. So what you want to do instead for serializing stuff is you want to do this, like do a structure with a dictionary and make everything either dictionaries, arrays, or simple data like integers, strings, floats. That's pretty much about it. Like get everything to the simplest stuff. The good thing is that dictionaries in Godot are very they are like JavaScript objects, so they're very every use. So if you want, you can check the again my code or whatever, and check for any serialized mention and deserialized mention. You do have to like, especially for this year for deserialization. There's a couple hiccups that I found. Like arrays don't like to set themselves up, even if they are like arrays of, like for example in this case this is an array of a not a simple class. That's obviously not gonna get deserialized and so on. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit off the rails. And yeah, that's about it. That's everything I wanted to talk. So if you made it here, please leave a like. No, that's not good for you. Um, don't leave a like, but leave a comment. Say something. Share your feelings. Um, you matter, uh, and we love you. We are a family. Yes. Uh, thank you for coming and listen to my ramblings, and I hope you learned something. This is Original again, and I'll see you later, hopefully. And yeah. Oh, I need to, yeah. Anyway, see you later.